And is that community something that you have? What are you guys? Where are you guys meeting at? Where are y'all connecting at?
No, so Spotify, my community is called the Dream Team. This is for entrepreneurs. But like my podcast is on Spotify, Apple Music, and like the great David Shan says, you don't want to stop. It's interesting because I started my podcast on my father's birthday. This was not this past year, last year, and I was
Okay.
shooting at the E Complex. I was actually shooting my podcast at the E
Okay.
Complex, and he was watching Success at the times where we were shooting. However,
Mm,
he got sick, had been on dialysis, caused me to stop
mm,
because I didn't have nobody to watch Success. And just like Shan says, you don't want to stop. Consistency is key. So
right.
now, starting as of last week, I just shot another episode. We're gonna start episode season 2
Right.
is about to get uplifted or uploaded now, and I'm not gonna stop. So that's why I always
Hey, that's
congratulate you.
good.
And when I see you all doing it, it's like, bro, you doing such an amazing job. Keep doing what you're doing, because right now it's the early stages. You just working
Right.
out the kinks, like the things that
Right.
this was, like I said, before it was any podcast challenge. I already
Hmm.
knew that I wanted to do a podcast because I
Right.
wanted to
Same
voice
here.
out. I know it's more parents that's in the world that's going through the same thing that I'm going through, or it's people that's thinking about, when they have children, they gonna go through these things. But
Right.
the Birth
Right.
of Success podcast originally, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. So
No, go
originally,
ahead.
it was for when Success get older. Like I have an episode 2 with my grandfather. He was 95 years old at the time. Thank God
Mm,
he's still alive. So he's actually, I think, he's 96 now. He may be 97, but he's 96 now. He's still alive.
mm,
But I wanted to get people to help raise me, and you know, in my, not just my family, but my neighbors, people that was really close to me that has plenty of wisdom. And so when Success gets 9, 10 years old, he's able to hear that same game and understand those same values, even if they
hmm.
may not be here. And like I said,
Right.
with the pandemic, with anything can happen tomorrow. Now, tomorrow
Hmm.
is not promised. So it's important for all the listeners that may be thinking, start you a podcast, because once you upload it, that information can live on forever.
Yes. Yeah.
So
It's just like books. Like that's how I see
yeah.
it. I see the
Mm.
podcast, even YouTube channels. It's just like books, right? We have information. You know how many people I've heard say, "Oh, the first book I read when I started my journey was Rich Dad Poor Dad." This man, Robert Kiyosaki, took this information that he received and literally just he put his what he learned, his knowledge, just in written form, so that now it can be disseminated so other people can connect with it. But that's the same thing, like you're saying, with the Birth Success podcast, with Lion and Lambo, all these others
Yes.
is information that people have that they've been blessed with, that they're simply just sharing so that others also can be impacted as well, man. And we gotta put, and that's why I encourage everybody just to share and just to do it, right? Because, and as our friend in the morning meetup, do it ugly, right? Because at the end of the day, somebody needs to hear what you got. And I know there's just something on everybody for some reason that you feel like, well, I don't have anything to share. I know who would listen to me. What, man, you are
It's
so
more so, I
unique. Your
think that they
story is
are.
so unique.
Yes, sir. I was about to say that they are more so embarrassed because they feel like they're the only ones going through it,
Mm,
when they don't understand that it's a community that's probably already built, or one that they can start just by expressing what it is that they're going through. Whether it's
yeah,
something that they
yeah,
overcome or something that they're in the midst of going through right now. It's always easier when you're going through something together with somebody else
yes,
than it is if you're going through it alone. And we
yeah,
always say, like, yeah, we're gonna be going through it alone. Yeah, we are gonna be going through it alone, especially if we don't tell nobody what we're going through. We can't expect
mm,
for people. Oftentimes, even as a entrepreneur, feel like, oh, I don't have my friends' support. I don't have this. I don't have that.
hmm,
But it's like, unless you always telling your friends about your business and always promoting your business, you can't expect for them to just be promoting it. Like, I want
right,
it to be
right.
where now my friends understand if they talking to me, we gonna be talking. Obviously, I'm gonna ask them how they're doing, and if they have some type of skills, we're gonna try and create a business of their own. Because being a parentpreneur is the objective, or having your own business, something you can pass down to your children, is the objective.
Mm-hmm.
But we cannot be afraid to let people know what it is that we doing and what it is that we stand for. And we can't be mad if they don't support it. They're not obligated to support anything, but at least you expressing what it is, and you're expressing and sharing what it is that you do. So a stranger may support you. But if we don't tell anybody, then we know what the outcome is gonna be. We're gonna feel like, oh, nobody wants this, or nobody cares, or things of that nature. I just feel like always either ask for help or let people know what you got going on, and don't just do it one time. Follow up with them. And if they don't like you, they'll unfollow you.
Right. And you got to think, like, it's what value are you providing for your friends? A lot of times when these situations, we're just thinking about the friends supporting us just because it's us. And that's okay. That's cool. Right. But at the end of the day, you have a certain service that you're providing, or a product that you're providing, right, to the community. And you got to think, well, is my product or service actually beneficial for my friends? Is it actually providing value for them? Because if it doesn't provide value for them, you can't be upset that they're not, connecting with it, right? You know what I'm saying? It may not be, all your friends are not your target audience. That's just the reality, right? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's a perfect point. And that's why I was like, if my friends that didn't necessarily have children, I wouldn't necessarily send them the ebook. But if they have, or I wouldn't necessarily send them the flashcards. But if I don't know if they have nieces or nephews, or maybe I do know they have nieces or nephews. So I'll send it to them anyway. I may just, but the thing is, as an entrepreneur, we have to get out of the mindset of we're afraid to communicate. That's one thing I wanted to touch on. Communication is key. As an adult, you'll be surprised how many people are so afraid to pick up a unknown call. Like, if I don't know who it is, I ain't picking up the phone, or I'm afraid to call it. I don't want to go into the bank. I don't want to go into the bank and ask questions, or afraid to ask questions. They have to build their trust with you first, and then they're going to ask you 100 questions. But just random people, we have to teach our children as young. We always don't talk to strangers. Yes, I'm not going to steer away from that. However, let's not make it to where they so afraid and they become super antisocial, and then they grow up wanting to have friends, but they just fail at communicating. They fail at, introducing themselves. They fail at asking for things that they may want. Because on the other end of that ask, it's either what it is that you want or no. So if we teach them at an early age, or even if we unlearn and relearn at our current age, it don't matter if we 55, if we unlearn and relearn and say, okay, it's okay for me to communicate. It's okay for me to say, I love the Lion and the Lambo podcast. Support our brothers and support our sisters. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. And I think
it's true, man.
I think I probably reached out to you first because I said, you know what, you up to something. You up to something great here with, the biblical principles, because it's so important. A lot of things going on in the world, and they try to mix things up. So, and that's why I wanted to be sure, if I had the privilege to come on this podcast, this was going to be one of the ones that I made the time for. I said, whenever.
Thanks for watching the Lion and Lambo podcast. We hope this clip has been a huge blessing to you. And we want to remind you that we drop new videos, new podcast episodes every Sunday at 9 o'clock. You can find the full episode by clicking the card up at the top right of this video. If you prefer an audio only experience, then we want to let you know that we're streaming through every major podcast streaming platform. For the full list, you can go to www.lionandthelambo.com. Until next time, go impact the world.